Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
I don't know what it is that makes me love you so. I only know I never wanna let you go. 'Cause you started something, don't you see? That ever since we met you had a hold on me. It happens to be true. I only wanna be with you.
Good evening and welcome to this week's Ringing the Blues. I'm Phil Catchpole, bringing you all the latest on the goings-on down at Adams Park and all things Wycombe Wanderers. On this week's show, we chat with the new signing, Kieran Sadlier. Sam Grace updates us on the development squad, and Joe Jacobson is on Wish You Were Here. Plus, we also preview the Prostate Cancer UK March for Men, which takes place this Sunday. But first, it's International Week, so we've given Uri the week off so he can celebrate Mexican Day of Independence with a few tequilas. So it's over to producer Luke for this week's latest results.
We are ringing the blues all the way from High Wycombe Town Centre. It's not as glamorous. And here are the results from League One. Exeter City 1, Leyton Orient 2, Stevenage 2, Carlisle United 2. Some relevant Chairboys international results for you. Wales under-21s 4, Liechtenstein under-21s 0, Gibraltar 0, Malta 1, Republic of Ireland under-21s 3, Turkey's under-21s 2, Greece 5, Gibraltar 0, and finishing a little while ago, Lithuania's under-21s 2, Wales under-21s 3. And this week's Chairboys Spanish is bye. Adios.
You're not getting away that easily.
Oh.
If it was Chairboy Spanish this week,
Yeah.
I was going to go for sausage roll to celebrate Jolo's magnificent start to the season in terms of goal scoring, because he scored 3 for the Chairboys. He scored once for Wales under-21s the other day.
Easy for you to say.
So, Luke, what's the Spanish for sausage roll?
I have no idea, but I would imagine it's probably going to be something like roll and then sausage in Spanish.
We'll ask you next week. In German, it's Würstchen im Schlafrock.
I kind of like that.
I love the German language because literally Schlafrock means in a dress.
Nice.
So it's a sausage in a dress.
It's kind of panto, that.
Wonderful. Good luck to Killian Phillips tonight, who's on the bench for Republic under-21s against San Marino under-21s as well. And we hope that everyone gets back safely from their travels.
Please.
Because we've got a big game this weekend at Adams Park against Blackpool.
Please, everyone come home safely.
Indeed. Luke, thank you very much for stepping in.
You're welcome.
And speak to you soon.
Adios.
Right then, Kieran Sadlier signed last week, out of contracts outside of the transfer window, and he spoke to Ringing the Blues last week. Kieran, welcome to Wycombe Wanderers. How you doing?
I'm good, you?
I'm very good. A bit warm, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hot.
First question, how do we address you? Sads, Kieran? What are you comfortable with?
Sads, I think everyone just calls me Sads wherever I go.
Okay.
Without really me saying anything, they just pick up on it, but yeah, Sads.
Okay.
It's cool.
Some of our fans would have seen you play, and he'd have seen you play against Wycombe Wanderers as well. For those that haven't, what can we expect from you in the quarters?
Just get on the ball. I like to get on the ball. Just bit of composure, like on the ball, and try and make things happen. Create, score as many goals as possible. Yeah, hopefully, just create and just do good things on the ball. I suppose try and pick up the ball and do something a bit different sometimes. But obviously involved in the team here, like be a team player and just try and be as successful as possible.
Fair to say you've got an eye for goal as well.
Yeah, no, like I think in the games I have played in the last few years, I've managed to either grab a goal or an assist in quite a few starts. But when I was at Doncaster, I had a good season there, and I had quite a few goals and stuff as well. Yeah,
I've seen right foot, left foot, headed goals, a real mixture.
Yeah, it's not really one kind of goal that I score. I've seemed to kind of just score all kinds of goals, set pieces. I want to try and get more in the box more, put myself in positions where I am scoring goals. But I take as much pleasure from an assist as I do a goal. So yeah, I like to chip in with assists as well.
And what are your memories about playing against Wycombe Wanderers?
To be fair, it's always been tough. They've always been tough games. I think, on the whole, a lot of teams don't really like going to Adams Park and playing against Wycombe because they know they're in for a good game. And I think the last time I played Wycombe was for Rotherham. I think it was the first game of the Championship season.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think the balls didn't play much, was it? I think that was a stat, but that was a long time ago. But yeah, no, it's always a tough game.
And what was it like knowing that Wycombe Wanderers were interested? Was that were you pleased to hear that news?
Yeah, no, I was. I'd heard a lot about the manager from a close friend of mine who also knows the manager, and he told me a lot of good things about him. And to be fair, as soon as they showed their interest, it was a bit of a no-brainer for me. I wanted to work with the manager and what he's about, and we spoke on the phone, and I was really drawn to the club because of him, and also the club's always been like one of my best mates used to play here, and I know people that have played here, and to be honest with you, I've always heard good things of the environment that you work in, and I think that goes a long way when you're working with people that are good people and they're dedicated, and you've got a good culture at the club. It's a big attraction for a player, I think.
Who was the player that used to play it as you mate?
Will de Havilland.
Ah.
He's my best mate from school here. So he was here a while ago, but he always spoke highly of the place.
Excellent. He's a barber now, isn't he?
Well, he's not the barber, he just owns a barber shop there.
A lot of fans looked at your hair when you signed, they were quite excited.
Yeah, I got rid of it.
Was that a Will's barber shop?
No, actually no, it's not there. No, I did get rid of it the other day. I think it was getting too long. It's hot as well, and I wanted to get rid of it for a while, to be fair, but no, I've got rid of it.
And how was it with the transfer window? Obviously it came after the window as well. Mm-hmm. Was that a bit more of a less stressful experience?
Yeah, no, it was obviously, I knew I was coming here on the deadline day, but the way that the deal and the transfer was structured, I negotiated my termination of my contract to Bolton, or my agent did, and agreed to sign here verbally. And then I think that was on the Friday, came to watch the lads on the Saturday at Northampton, and then signed on the Monday. So I knew it was all agreed. I spoke to the manager and was really looking forward to it, yeah.
And with the international break, no game, is that a good or a bad thing? Does it give you a bit more time to settle in, or would you prefer a game first and foremost?
No, I think it's perfect really to get 2 weeks of good work. You can kind of feel your way into it, you're not straight into it. I've been at clubs before where I literally signed and the next day I'm playing and you're a bit all over the place. You don't know how the lads play. So I think I prefer this way where I can slowly get into it. I've got a whole full week with no game at the end to get some really good bits of training in, and then obviously we've got all of next week as well to prepare for Blackpool. So. And
the first game will be at Adams Park.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. Blackpool are a good team as well, so it'll be a good competitive game, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Kieran Sadlier there, Wycombe's new signing, and he'll be hopefully involved on Saturday. Come down to Adams Park to see us take on Blackpool. If you can't make it, then don't worry, Wanderers TV has got you covered, and we're joined by Wycombe legend Steve Brown this week, who's joining us on commentary there, so you'll get the benefit of the wisdom of a Wycombe Wanderers legend with me on commentary. Right then, on Sunday, it's the Prostate Cancer UK March for Men, led by Jeff Stelling. It's a long old walk from Wembley Stadium to the home of football, Adams Park. And several hundred fans are taking part, several representing Wycombe Wanderers as well. It's in aid of Prostate Cancer UK to raise money and awareness. And Jeff Stelling does this every year, but he's chosen to do it from Wembley to Wycombe Wanderers because of Bill Turnbull, because it's been just over a year since we lost Bill. And one of the many Wycombe fans taking part on Sunday is my mate and your mate, Jeremy, the Wycombe fan. Jeremy, how you doing? How are your feet?
Yeah, not bad now. I think maybe this time, sort of towards the end of Sunday, it might be slightly different. All right so far.
Now, I had a beer with you, I think maybe, 6 weeks, 2 months ago, and you did let on to me that you hadn't started training yet, because let's be honest, this is a marathon, 26 miles. This is no small undertaking.
Long way, isn't it?
It is a long way. How's the training progressing?
It's all right. I haven't quite. I probably should be a little bit further along. I've done a couple of 12 miles and a few getting towards that. So from a start of going okay. I sort of no real aches, no injuries yet. Fingers crossed. So hopefully we'll be all right.
And how's your training been structured? Is it sort of like long walks interspersed with the pop into a pub, or has it been literally lace up the running shoes? Yeah,
I think structured is probably overdoing it a bit, to be honest. But no, a few long walks at the weekend, and then a little bit of gym work. I'm quite been able to get the football going at work after COVID, so kind of haven't been doing that. But a bit of gym, bit of walks, trying to eat a bit better, a few less beers, that kind of stuff.
So this is raising money and awareness for Prostate Cancer UK, but also is getting men out and about and getting in better shape as well.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of win-win for everybody, really. Bit of health, obviously, kind of spreading the word, getting people tested, hopefully saving people's lives that way, but also chucking some money into for the research and obviously kind of wandering from Wembley, which is sort of not far from where I grew up, to Wycombe. So it kind of hit all the boxes, really. So time to get off the backside and do something useful.
Now, I don't want to talk about your age live on the radio, live on Ringing the Blues, but obviously it's men of a certain age that need to get checked to get the early detection. But this is for all men, really, to know about this, because everyone's going to have known someone that's been affected by this disease.
Absolutely. I know people in my family who've been affected by similar cancers, and obviously it kind of affects lots of people. But just since I've been involved in this, there's a website you can go on and check your risk. I'm just underneath the age where it's probably a high-risk group, but none of us getting any younger. All worthwhile checking, and from various people's stories and that they've shared, catching it early does really help. So people do that. There's like I said, there's a website you can go on to check your risk, and then if you need to, you can ask the doctor for a test.
I'm really looking forward to Sunday, because I think it's going to be a long old day, let's be honest, but there's going to be I think nearly 400 or 500 people doing this, all for the similar cause, but all for the love of football as well. So it should be quite a good social event, don't you think?
I think so, yeah. Lots of football-related people, lots of people. There's a few celebs, a few ex-players coming along. Jeff, obviously. A few Wycombe faces people will know. Kind of to start with, starting off at Wembley Stadium, having a bit of a poke round there, ending up at Wycombe, that'll all be great. Some of the bit along the way might be a little tricky, but we'll see. I think it's all good-humoured and kind of well supported by the sounds of it, so hopefully it'll be all right.
What time's kick-off?
Very, very early. We've got to be at Wembley Stadium to register something like about 6:30 in the morning or something, which is not something I really see on a Sunday very often.
I think the last time I saw 6:30 on a Sunday, I was just coming home.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So 6:30 start for registration. I think the walk-in starts around 7. What sort of time are you anticipating to arrive at Wycombe Wanderers?
I believe it's being aimed. There's a couple of bits where they kind of stop and feed and water everybody and bring them on a bit, because it's a bit further than 26 miles. But I think it's planned to be about 6:30 back at Wycombe, I believe.
Well, I'm hoping the bar's going to be open, so we can have
Absolutely.
an all-important energy drink once we've crossed the finish line.
Yes, sponsored by Rebellion, hopefully.
Well, fingers crossed for that one. Well, fingers crossed as well that the training has paid off. I'm sure it has. And for those that are struggling, there's going to be enough people around there to cheer for you on as well. And if you're not taking part, you can get involved as well, because there's going to be sponsorship available. You can get involved on the links on Prostate Cancer UK across their social media. Wycombe Wanderers will be sharing this as well, and you can make sure that Jeremy and everyone else's efforts are not in vain, and sponsor them as well, and raise money for what is a fantastic cause. How much do you reckon we're going to make, Jeremy? Do you know?
I believe just the Wycombe fans alone are already sort of not far off 10,000. So as a total with sort of several hundred people, it could be multiple tens of thousands of pounds, hopefully.
Well, I'm sure Bill would have absolutely loved this. He'd have probably run it, I'd imagine, if he was still here. And it's a very noble cause that we're all doing. Jeremy, I will see you at 6:30 at Wembley Stadium. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll see you there.
Take care. Cheers.
Anybody you can offer a sponsorship or anything in, that'd be great.
Brilliant. Jeremy, we'll see you on Sunday. Right then, we'll be covering this event as well, so you'll hear several interviews and bits of audio across Wanderers TV and on next week's Ringing the Blues as well, because I'm going to walk. I'm going to be speaking to a whole range of people, hopefully, about this. And as I said, go on the Prostate Cancer UK social media and the website, and also across the Wycombe Wanderers site as well, because A, you can find out where you can get checked, and B, you can find out if you want to donate money as well. That's the place to do it. Coming up later on Ringing the Blues, we're speaking to Joe Jacobson about Wish You Were Here, and Sam Grace is updating us on the development squad, plus Colin's popping in to tell us about this week's Wycombe Wanderers show, all after these messages.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
In the future, you'll be able to watch TV on your microwave, 3D print yourself a personal butler.
You rang, Mom?
And get fit by just looking at a treadmill. OK, maybe not that. But wherever the technology does go, radio will go there too. Because Radio Player is working with the world's leading car and tech companies to keep radio out in front. Radio Player. In the car, in the home, in the future. Find out more at radioplayer.org.
Tuesday evenings from 8. Chatsworth. Chat that's worth a listen with comedians.
I'm going to a pasty lecture. It discusses whether it was tin miners who held the crust in their hands and didn't eat it, so the rats would eat it, and then the rats would eat the tin, or was it the people in the fields and they put the jam on the crust so they had a pudding with their lunch? Who knows what it was? That's the first 10 minutes of the lecture.
I love the idea that people might have just tuned in now and have just
What is this?
Colin, can I tell you something?
Please
this
do.
is the high for me. If I'd have known back then that all roads were leading to you, Colin, I would have lost my mind. I wouldn't have been able to focus.
I must congratulate you. You've reached the top.
Thank you.
And Colin.
If you do fancy a laugh on a Tuesday evening, I'll look forward to speaking to you then. Although due to the modern ways of listening, you can catch up anytime via the Listen Again feature on the website, wycombsound.org.uk.
When you realise your dream, that's what it feels like.
When your dream realises you, Colin, that's what it is.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Welcome back to Ringing the Blues. A bit of news as well. Next week, earlier time of 6 p.m, because Wycombe Wanderers are playing in the Pizza Cup, or the EFL Trophy, to give it its full name, against Crystal Palace under-21s at Adams Park. That's also going to be live on Wycombe Sound. But because of the early kick-off, Ringing the Blues is at 6 o'clock next week, and you'll hear all about that March for Men on Sunday, as well as loads of other things, including all the action from the Blackpool game at Adams Park this Saturday. We'll also have a chat with Steve Brown next week as well, but that's all next week. Coming up later on this show, we've got Joe Jacobson and Wish You Were Here, and we're catching up with Colin as well about the Wycombe Wanderers show, which is every Thursday here on Wycombe Sound too. But before all that, I caught up with Sam Grace, the Wycombe Wanderers development manager, to catch up on everything to do with the development squad now that the transfer window has closed.
That's right, yeah. This start is always the busiest period for me, following on from the summer where you get a lot of profiles put to you by clubs, agents, players directly themselves. So going through all those, having a look at them, the ones that we want to see during that summer period, to then obviously the new boys, you're trying to help those that have come into the club, as well as helping those current development group players that are with us for another season. Yeah, it's all go this time of year.
How would you assess where we are now in this development sort of model? Because where are we now in the
fourth season?
Fourth season.
Yeah. So it's fluid. It's really fluid. So last year there was a real focus for us to try and find younger players. So previously, I think a little bit to find players that are standard that can deal with first team training straight away. We had more players that close to that 20-year-old mark, which is great in terms of they're further on their physicality. But the hardships are by 21, so you've really only got a season with them. They've either got to be knocking on that door, or because of the way the squad numbers are structured and you can only have a certain amount in your squad, maybe their time's up with us already. So last year, as I said, we went for younger 18-year-olds, and we found what we think is a really promising group. And with that, we still have likes of Luca and Christy, who were 18, they've turned 19 now. Jasper, who was 20, going strong, and Declan, who we picked up a little bit later. So those four have stayed with us and have made great gains, and we're really happy with how they're doing now.
We saw Christy making his first team debut last season as well. Still that element of pride when you see him cross the white line on a match day?
Yeah, I think really interesting. We played Watford on Monday. We played their 21s. And really good game. They were very complimentary afterwards, and probably one of the biggest takeaways is you see our 19-year-old going shoulder to shoulder with their 19-year-old, and through his hard work in the gym, through the environment that he plays in every day, that strength, that using of body, you know, our players stood up to that test very well. So yeah, really happy.
And because we've got this core, like you say, the younger players moving into the second year, we've seen a slight drop off in terms of the new bodies coming in. Is that a new strategy?
We've always said we want to go quality over quantity. I think when you sign 18-year-olds rather than a 20-year-old, there's quite a big difference. So with a 20-year-old, you've probably got more of an idea of where they are in their development. With 18-year-old, there's potentially, I'm using the same word again, higher potential, but also we don't quite know where those limits are, and it might even be less. So there are boys that found that hard and that step up too much to bridge so far. But those boys that did come in have done so well that we're not chasing signings. You know, we've always said we want to keep the group small so they train with the first team, they get that experience. You start signing, let's say we signed another 6, well suddenly you've got 11. Now you fit 11 in with a first team squad of 20, that's 32 players. That doesn't look like a football match to the game. You're now putting on sessions so people can take part rather than actually focus on their development. So yeah, really always quite protective of trying to keep those players involved with the first team as much as possible, because I think we've seen the rewards and the benefits in the players in the past seasons.
And talk us through the new faces. Taylor Clark, a guy that has certainly impressed on trial.
Yeah, Taylor's done really well. He came in the second week. We had 2 weeks this year rather than 4 or 5 because I think we were being a bit more stricter, and played against Hanwell. So, you know, as a coach, we've lost 7-0 and I'm like, it's uncomfortable and we hate those moments in the games, but you have to have those games. There's no point as having an opposition where everybody looks great because they've not been tested. On that day we had players that couldn't deal with the set piece challenge as much as anything from Hanwell, and you get punished for it. What we did see on that day, as well as learning where the other people it was a bridge too far for them, you see Taylor come and give me the ball, still wants it, he's not affected by the score, he's got a picture where he's going to play next. His work rate and desire isn't affected by the scoreline. So you're going, okay, here's someone psychologically robust enough and with a clear enough identity of what his strengths are, that he's managing to action them when others maybe are emotionally affected by the state of the game. So yeah, he's come in really mature, good work rate, desire in the gym, and real focus on how he wants to improve his game. So really looking forward to seeing how he develops over the coming season.
Taylor's come through a sort of what you call an organic route here, coming through the non-league in this country, but we've also signed someone from America. Yeah,
Max. Pete brought Max to our attention. I think he's plays with his son, so he's seen a lot of him over the last few seasons. He brought him over to have a look at us, and his athleticism in terms of his jump. The athletic side of there is a big part of it. You know, the what you call donor sports like basketball, where you constantly got your jump shots and changing direction. He felt that Max has got a really good chance. So we're going to work with him this year and try and do all we can to push him on to that next step.
And the existing players in the building, those younger players, that when they signed when they were younger, Luke has gone out on loan to Worthing, is that right? And what's the plans for the rest of them? I guess with the trophy games coming up a key period?
Yes, some great opportunities for them to show. You know, those boys, it's hard for them at times because, you know, they're wanting that involvement, and we wouldn't want it any other way. Obviously we've had friendlies along, they're going into 3 games in 3 weeks. We played Watford 21s Monday, we'll play Ebbsfleet this Monday, and then the following game, there's a chance for them to be involved in that Papa John's. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how they do against that opposition, and confident that at worst players are going to learn something that will help them going forward in the future. But yeah, really looking forward to it.
4 years in, what would you say are the biggest challenges are, or the biggest learnings you've taken from this process?
Wow, I mean, learnings being in a professional environment is going to be a huge answer. In terms of the development group, I think you have a better idea in terms of who's likely to work and not work within our environment. So to be fair, from day one, there was clarity in what type of player we were looking for. Over the course of the year, I'd like to think my eyes are getting better in terms of seeing what's going to be what's required positionally, what's required at our club to be successful. Until you meet them, you're not going to fully know psychologically where they are, how they deal with upset, new information, the pressures of what's being asked at this level. So yeah, those are probably the areas where probably made those biggest steps. But every day's a learning day, you know, from the gaffer and how he deals with people, and when he's open, when he's upholding values, to Tomo's sessions and the level of detail that goes in that. That's something I'm gaining every day. Fantastic set of support staff, you know, with the analysts and the detail, the things that they want to bring to every meeting we have. Sports science, you know, that balance between getting the necessary preparation in but adding that element of fun and enjoyment, or the challenge point when you go into the gym. It's a fantastic environment that we feel everyone's bouncing off each other and picking up bits here and there that makes us all more rounded in our jobs.
And in addition to match day, I've noticed that there's a few more travelling on a match day who may not be in the squad, or they may get on the bench as well. That's a key part of the learning as well, and being in that environment.
Huge. Last year, Gaffer's second away game, Bristol Rovers away. Christie had just come back on loan from Hungerford, and he's on the bench. And he's like, my calves are tight. I'm like, yes, okay, it's just nerves. No, I've never had. It's not nerves. Never had this. But he needed to go through that to experience it, for his body almost to feel that tension, so that by the next time he comes around, he's, you know, I think maybe Ipswich, he's more settled. He knows what the experience is going to go through. He knows potentially what set pieces he's going to be asked for. You know, he's seen a bit more of us and how we play, and see in the game where he can find success as well as what's going to be tough for him. So yeah, it's an incredibly important part of their development, and for them to make that transition, I think it's a lot easier.
And with the gaffer coming in last season as well, he was, before he went to Colchester, was working closely with every part of the club, but very much so with the younger boys as well. How's it been now working with him as the gaffer? Yeah,
it's different, obviously, because, you know, you're used to working opposite a desk, and there's probably you're having, you know, in a respectful way, you're having, well, what would you do there? You're having those sort of conversations, whereas now, you know, he's making those decisions, but whilst it might not be as frequent, because, you know, he has a lot of other duties and responsibilities, you know, he's open with everyone. He'll come and ask you every now and then, you know, all members of staff, what do you think? What would you done? And then it's obviously up to him how much he listens to that, or how much he takes on board, because he's got a clear idea in his mind what he wants to do. But yeah, Matt Bloomfield, as everyone knows, is still Matt Bloomfield. He's just now Matt Bloomfield, a gaffer or manager.
There's one player in particular I know the fans will want me to ask about. Someone we saw on trial, scored a goal and impressed, Richard Kone. I think this story is a really interesting one, because the talent ID, you know, finding out about the psychology, the talent, that's just one part of it, but it's not always plain sailing, is it, trying to sign players?
No. So Richard, I'm not sure if people know, Richard first came in 2 years ago to us and had a training session for a few days. I can remember it was on the pitch, actually. We just signed Vokesy, so down at the ground, Vokesy, Bayo. But we knew at the time, even then, that there was things outside of our control. It wasn't a simple process. So, you know, we keep tabs on Richard, and it's not hard these days with the likes of Twitter and the internet, and, you know, you score goals, people are going to be aware of you. So we've kept in contact. He came back in during this pre-season. Hopefully those obstructions at the moment are beginning to be eroded, and something positive can happen soon. But yeah, it was good to see him in, see how much he's developed and changed. So always had a good eye for goal and always worked hard. I think there's more intelligence to his game in terms of types of runs, understanding of when to press and when to hold his run. And yeah, fingers crossed something positively happens on that front, whether that be for us or for another club. We wish him nothing but the best, because he's a top guy. And when you say the challenges, I mean, these are out of our control, out of football's control, really. These are issues that we can't really have an effect on, and it's just having to wait and see, because you see fans keen saying, oh, why is he not signed? Why is he not on the bench for Wycombe already? You know, and people getting carried away. It's not in our control, basically. No, and I think Richard's talents and hard work, you know, there's an obvious side to his game that everyone would realise he could play above the level that he plays, to step 5. And the fact that Richard is still playing at step 5 probably gives you an indication of how hard those obstructions are. No one can do anything about those, and believe me, in football everybody's looking for a solution away, because if you can bring in someone that's going to score goals for you, you're going to have you'll see the rewards, and clubs will try.
Sam Gray said, a Wycombe Wanderers development manager, updating us on all things development squad. And on Monday, a Wycombe Wanderers 11 played a game against Ebbsfleet United behind closed doors up at the training ground. Kieran Brecken scored a stunning last-gasp free kick to give the Chairboys a 1-0 win. Laurie Schaller, the young goalkeeper, played in that. David Wheeler got some match minutes as well as Kieran Sadlier, the new signing we heard from earlier on in the show. Jasper Pattenden, Taylor Clark, the new signing, Luca Woodhouse and Declan Skura and Max Kavanagh also featuring in that one. And if you want to see Kieran's free kick, it's on the Wycombe Wanderers Twitter feed and it's an absolute belter. Right, coming up after these messages, we chat with club captain Joe Jacobson about his holidays in Wish You Were Here.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Bill Turnbull, a broadcasting legend whose tireless campaigning for prostate cancer awareness left a lasting legacy for men's health in the UK. Bill's message was clear.
I really want you and your loved ones to take this simple online risk check now.
Let's honour Bill's legacy together. Let's get men across the UK to check their risk. Let's broadcast it like Bill. Check your risk. Share the risk checker. Save lives.
Thursday evenings from 7.
The Wycombe Wanderers show is now in its 4th season, and as you'd expect, we'll continue to bring you match analysis and highlights from Phil.
Joe Lowe's coming to us, Phil.
Oh my God. Oh wow, it's my first touch of the season. I punched it clear. I should have caught it, right?
I reckon you should have caught that. I reckon Max Striett catches that, Phil.
We'll regularly hear from manager Matt Bloomfield.
Of course, there's technical and tactical stuff that we've been working on that we would like to see, but in terms of what I want to see and have to see, it's all about the hard work, togetherness and team spirit, and everything else comes off the back of that.
As well as members of the current team.
You know, we had discussions about how we're going to do it better, and I think the only way you can do that is by keep practicing, keep learning, and hopefully then we'll get better and better with it.
And ex-players.
Everyone says as fast as I probably run, and they're probably right. Yeah, that's just a motion-fueled moment there, really. Just, it was great, because my dad is one of those people that gave me a lot of stick about not scoring as well, so I just wanted to see him and rub it in.
We'll bring you news from in and around the club, continue to follow Wycombe Wanderers women, and some things you wouldn't expect.
The brownies were top drawer.
And don't forget you can catch up with the show via the podcast.
The Wycombe Wanderers Show, only on Wycombe Sound. Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Welcome to another episode of Wish You Were Here. And this week we're speaking to Joe Jacobson, who I reckon loves a holiday. What do you reckon, Joe?
Who doesn't love a holiday?
Well, exactly.
Yeah, I do love a holiday, I have to admit.
Where was the last place you went?
This summer was Mallorca. We actually had 2 holidays. We were fortunate. We had Scott Cashkett's wedding in Italy, so we turned that into a bit of a holiday. And then the in-laws took us to Mallorca for a few days, which was basically 6 adults chasing around a 2-year-old for 4 or 5 days. So not quite sure it was a holiday, but it was still nice.
Now, you were very lucky, because not that I was stalking you, but on Instagram I realised we were both in Mallorca at the same time, so you could have been chasing a 2-year-old and you could have also bumped into me.
If I knew you were there, I would have definitely gone and spent some time with you.
I was chasing a 2-year-old around as well. So.
Yeah, we could have left them somehow, or got the 2-year-olds together and let the adults go and have their time.
Perfect. Scott Cashkett's wedding, let's talk about that. I saw the photo, I got a bit emotional seeing you all back together again.
Yeah, it was like a little mini Wembley reunion. No, it was really nice. Like, me and Scott have kept in touch. We're good friends. We were close when we were here, so it's nice to go and be a part of his special day with his family and stuff. And the Cashketts, anyone knows them, they don't go half-heartedly on anything they do. So the wedding was incredible. The location on the top of a mountain in this beautiful villa in Italy was incredible. One of the best weddings I've ever been to. So I said to some of the boys who weren't married, I was like, just good luck now following this. So yeah, they've got the problem now.
There were some great videos online on socials as well about that wedding as well. A Jewish wedding. Scott Kashket I saw running and jumping. Is that a tradition?
Yeah, weirdly. I don't know where it comes from, but the layout of the day is different to normal weddings, where you have the ceremony, you have the reception, and then before the meal starts you go straight into Israeli dancing. You're up on the dance floor, you haven't eaten yet. It's kind of like an icebreaker. The men are a lot rowdier than the women are. They're separate, and the women kind of just go in a nice little circle, look after the bride. The men, they're flying the groom everywhere. He's getting flung, he's getting, he has to jump over things. They're getting him in the middle, swinging him around. Bale had him swinging around like a yo-yo at one point. So yeah, it was great fun, and it was nice seeing those boys who had never been to a Jewish wedding before kind of stand on the outside at the start, thinking, what the hell is going on here? So in the end, being in the middle, being in the mix and getting involved, and it's great, kind of like I said, like an icebreaker, and it gets everyone in a good mood. The
clip I saw was almost like a sort of a motorbike jumping over buses, but like Scott Kashket running and doing like a long jump over all the other guests.
Yes, and then crashing into the cameraman at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was like, don't get injured, Scott, because pre-season's in a few weeks.
Yeah, I know. The best part about all of that was whatever Scott wanted to do, his mum wanted to follow.
Oh,
so
wow.
Normally, like I said, the women are, separate to the men. But at one point we were flinging, Scott, and then his dad, and his mum's like, I'm getting involved here. So we're flinging Scott's mum. I was like, I didn't know where to look, didn't know what was going on, but it was all good fun.
So you tagged on a holiday as well off the back of the wedding?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, had a few days in Florence, and then got a car and travelled down to the middle of nowhere and just stayed in a little hotel, me and the wife, so it was nice.
I was going to say, what is the ideal holiday in the off-season? Is it relaxation, or do you a bit of partying as well, or...?
No, not at my age. Those boys,
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, those boys' holidays, look, they were great when I was 19, 20. Did summers in Malia and Magaluf, been to both of them a few times actually. Years ago it used to be the go-to with football as well. We do well in the league or get promoted, and not like now where you get taken to Vegas or wherever these clubs go. But yeah, had some fun times like Ibiza, things like that. But now I'm like a beach guy. I can just lay there all day on the beach, not moving, especially after the season's finished.
Yeah.
I just want to go and lay down, get some sun, completely switch off, relax. That's my ideal holiday.
And is it podcasts, reading, listening to music? What do you do? You can't just do nothing all day or sleep.
I can.
Really?
I can just lay there and just like let my mind just wander. But yeah, if I do listen to things, podcasts more than anything else, I think. Books, people have books anymore? You don't really need them anymore, do you? You just have an iPad or whatever with books on. But yeah, I'm a podcast kind of guy. But like I said, I like going for walks. What's happened to me? But yeah, walks on the beach. Yeah, it's nice. I stay there for a few hours. You get hot, you go in the sea, go for a walk down the coast or whatever we are, and like to go and explore, go out for dinners. We're not big drinkers, so we're not kind of sitting at the pool bar, getting smashed all day. We're, we might have a pina colada in the afternoon or something, but that's about it.
What's the best place for food?
Ooh, what country,
yeah.
or
what cuisine?
What cuisine? Oh, I feel like wherever I go, I try to eat local cuisines. Where we like to go, or where we went in summer, in Spain, we go for paellas and things. And if we're in Italy, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with going to Italian restaurants and things. A nice little local one out of the way is always nice. Yeah, whereas we've been in the Caribbean, when we've been, we love going to fresh fish restaurants and things like that. So we're quite foodies, me and my wife. So we like to go to look beforehand of restaurants and try and book some places and do our research on those things.
Let's try and rescue your reputation a bit now. If you can remember back this far, those lads' holidays, where would be your ultimate lads' holiday?
Ultimate. I'd love to go to Vegas. Yeah. I've never been to Vegas. I've always said I want to do it as a big celebration, so I wanted to do it through football. When I was younger, Vegas wasn't really on the cards. Like I said, it was those little island in Europe somewhere where a group of 20 of you would just go and you'd go on a booze cruise and you'd go and just party all day and night. It was like, loved it. It's great fun. Don't know if I could handle, I've done stag do's and my own stag do. 2 days, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. Just want to like crawl up into a ball and cry or something. But, yeah, I'd love to do a Vegas. From what the boys say and friends that have been, it seems like a great place to kind of party. But I'm happy just now, whenever there's Christmas do or there's big parties, I'm kind of on the edge and watching. I like to observe a little bit more than be in the mix of it.
Experience.
Yes.
Where was your stag do?
South of France.
Ah.
Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah, it was. I just said, my brother was my best man. I just said to him, whatever happens, I just want to be awake for it all. And
we didn't sleep at all.
Well, yeah, slept a bit too much in the end. So it coincided with Spurs in the Champions League final.
Oh.
And one of my friends, who I won't mention, actually went to the Champions League final instead of coming on my stag do, which never kind of forgiven him for. But I wanted to make sure I was awake for that game. I think I watched about 30 seconds, spent a few hours in the toilet and went to bed.
Well, the first 30 seconds was pretty. That was game done, wasn't it?
That was it. Yeah, game done. Yeah,
I remember it well. We talked earlier on about your love of skiing. Now, in previous episodes, we've learnt that obviously footballers can't ski until you're retired. So, when was the last time you went skiing?
So, when we were younger, we used to go quite a bit with the family, and that was always a winter holiday that we did as a family. And I like to think that I can ski. I'm quite capable. Obviously, I haven't been since I've been in professional football. I don't think I've been since I was about 15. I think the last time was actually with a school trip. We went skiing, which was good fun. My parents have still been in the last few years. They've got friends they go on holiday with that they go skiing, and yeah, I loved it. I love the, we're sportsmen, so I love just that adrenaline of going down a mountain and testing yourselves and I was probably a lot more fearless back then when I used to go. So if I went again now, I'd think I'd be a bit more like, snowplow for a couple more days rather than just get out and go on, half pipes and things that we used to do. So that's one thing we've said, me and my wife, that as soon as I finish playing, first holiday we book will be a skiing holiday.
Go with your parents?
Yes, I'd go with them, yeah.
I've got it now. Powdered by Howard.
Powdered by... He'd love that, yeah. He would love that. His knees are shot. He's not a skier anymore.
It's a new skiing podcast.
My mum, though, like, whenever we've been on family holidays, water skiing and stuff, my mum's the first one to get out on the skis and does it. So, yeah, we're quite an active family when it comes to that.
And if there was a remote sort of adventure, like maybe sort of hiking through the Himalayas, which member of the current squad would you take with you?
Well, recently I went on a little spa trip. I don't know if you saw with Mr. Grimmer.
I did not know. This is new.
Did you not know this? Not just the two of us.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Our partners. We both, a few weeks ago when we were injured, we both had got given a weekend off. The boys were playing away, and so we decided to book ourselves into a little spa hotel in the Cotswolds, and went down and had a nice little trip. And we can get on. We don't fight or anything, so that Jack would be a safe option. I feel like he's from, I'm going to stereotype here, he's from Aberdeen, Scotland. I don't know if he's got to travel through the mountains to get up there, and so he might be good at hiking. He'd be good because he'd bring the sun cream because he wears that all year round, so that's, I wouldn't get burnt going with Jack. So I think he'd be the one.
I feel we need to explore this spa weekend with you and Jack Grimmer. So you're watching the game on Wanderers TV, getting your nails done with Jack Grimmer?
No, we didn't get our nails done. we did watch the game in our dressing gowns.
Oh, beautiful.
In the spa, while the girls drank some rosé. I remember we did send Sam Vokes a good luck message wearing our dressing gowns as we sat in the spa.
Which game was this?
This is for the Bristol Rovers game.
Which we won.
So obviously it worked.
As someone who is deeply superstitious, I feel that you should be doing this until you're both back fit.
That's it. Now, when you see me turn up to a home match in the dressing gown, you know the reason why.
I'll look forward to that. Well, you've chosen Jack because of the fullback union, which I've been desperate to talk about this guy since we started this feature, because he's no longer a Wycombe Wanderers player, but you remember him very well.
Yeah.
Sido Johmbati, I'm guessing, would be very low down on your list of someone to trek the Himalayas with.
Sido's probably trekking the Himalayas right now, actually.
Oh, he probably
just
is.
for an afternoon that he's probably driven there. He's trekking it, and just before lunchtime, that's something that he would do. He's someone he would know all about it. He'd probably say the Portuguese invented the Himalayas. Which it's debatable. But and even if there was no one on the mountain, he'd still try and find an argument with someone somehow up there. I don't know if I could spend days or hours talking about Rui Costa and Luis Figo too much, but I'm sure Cedar would be the guy who knew where he was going, or think he knew where he was going, and take you on an adventure. So, on that tip, in the current squad, who would you least like to go away with? Least? Who would I least like to go with? That's a tough question. I'm trying to think of someone who I don't think would be very adaptable to those surroundings.
We were just hoping you could tell us who's really annoying, basically, but...
Well, that's a deeper layer of what I'm trying to say. No, and everyone's great. I'm trying to think of... I'd go with Kieran, You'd take Kieran as well? No, I wouldn't take Kieran. You wouldn't, Kieran? No, I think Kieran would be good if you twist an ankle or something, but I think... Oh, Kieran the physio. Kieran the physio. Not Kieran Breck. Brecken's lovely. He's... I'm not sure he'd want to be out of his... the comfort of his own home for longer than a day or two, but Kieran the physio, I think, would be low down. I think, sometimes you don't get much out of him, do you? So... it could be a long few days if neither of you are speaking to each other. A man you're having to spend a bit of time with at the moment, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, I've got a bit of a groin strain, so I'm just, had a little mini setback in my rehab at the minute, so having to kind of reassess and see where we're at with that. Hopefully, it's not too much longer, but these things unfortunately happen. So that's another reason why I'm spending a bit too much time with Kieran. He's not, like I said, any footballer will always say they hope they never even get to know the name of the physio, let alone spend some time with him. So any more time than I have to with Kieran, no offence to Kieran, but I'd rather not. Well, Joe, it's been a fascinating insight into your holiday life, and the next away game we will all picture you and Jack Grimmer sat in your dressing grounds watching on. Well, we had that one time, didn't we? We had the bed, the Dreams. Was it the Dreams bed in the corner in the stadium? Maybe we could do, a little hot tub type thing, and me and Jack sitting there in our dressing gowns and our robes, watching the commentating. We could get you in. We could do. Why don't we do? I was just waiting for the invite, basically. Yeah. I reckon we could. We've got a couple of those ice baths. We'll put some hot water in one of those, and we'll have a go. Well, as long as we're winning, it doesn't matter, does it? Exactly. Top stuff. Yeah. We wish you recovery well. Thank you very much. See you soon. Cheers, Phil. Thanks. There you go. Joe Jacobson and Jack Grimmer on a lovely little cosy spa weekend in their recovery from injury, watching Wycombe Wanderers. That's a striking image for all of us. We're joined in the studio live by producer Luke and Colin.
Very good evening to you, and good afternoon if you're listening to this at another time.
Yeah.
Good morning as well.
Exactly that. Right, Colin, you first. The Wycombe Wanderers show this Thursday.
Yes.
7:00 on Wycombe Sound.
I'd listen. I
would too. What's coming up?
Well, you'll be on it, apart from anything. And we'll be previewing, obviously, the Blackpool game and asking such in-depth questions like, Wycombe Wanderers fans look forward to going to Blackpool. Do you think it's the same the other way around? I'd very much like to think it would be. Who wouldn't want to come to the Chair Metropolis? Exactly. We've got that. So we'll speak to an ex-player as well who's played for both clubs. Alan Mays, we'll be hearing from him. He's a striker who played at Lokes Park between 87 and 88. We'll catch up one of the new Chair Girls signings as well. They had their first league home game of the season last Sunday, which I believe was very well attended, not least by the 1887 and a drum. That was very good. And yes, obviously we'll be looking ahead to Saturday's game and speaking to the manager as well, and quite possibly another of the first team players also. Excellent. How was your weekend? And we'll be previewing the March as well.
Of course, the big march as well on Sunday. How was your weekend without a game? Have you been watching international matches, or?
I have been watching some internationals, yes. Some unusual choices of internationals as well. I was trying to think of one I saw that I perhaps wouldn't normally get to see. I saw Wales-Estonia. That was only last night, of course. But yeah, no, it's been really interesting.
Good stuff. And producer Luke, exciting news, because we've been developing this on the quiet. So the last few home games on a Saturday, we've got a post-match show, a live radio show on Wycombe Sound, which we want fans to join in with, because there's ways for them to get involved. Tell us all about it.
It's got a great name as well. It's Ringing the Blues Post-Match Reaction.
Ooh.
It's a great name.
How did we come up with that?
I have no idea. It's a whole hour where we're going to basically talk about the game that's just happened. We're going to have thoughts from fans from around the actual ground, from Adams Park. We're going to hear from stuff that was happening before the game as well, and during half-time. You'll hear the game highlights straight after the game, and it's the first place that you'll hear from the manager straight after the game as well, Matt Bloomfield. And as Phil said, you can get involved as well. 01494 449900 via WhatsApp, or you can send a text message on that, or a voice message if you want to be part of the show itself, or you can send a message on Twitter, X, whatever it's called today, at Wycombe Sound on there, or anywhere else where we are. But it's going to be good. It's been the last couple of ones that we've done. It's gone well, and we've managed a whole hour. Oh, and Colin's on it as well.
Oh, with the class.
At the later time now of whatever you are. 5:30 or something like that.
Because people might hear your voice, Colin, and go, I know that voice. And is it because you ring people up trying to sell insurance?
If that's it, yeah. Then they hang up shortly afterwards. No, the classified football results on a Saturday. Even on international breaks.
Really?
Yes.
And that's on IRN, so that's on any other radio station that isn't the BBC, right?
Absolutely, yes. So, the commercial radio.
You can't get away from it.
Because the BBC don't do it anymore, do they?
They've stopped it.
So if you want to know about the Scottish Third Division, you're the man, right?
Absolutely. East 5, Cowdenbeath.
All the Welsh ones.
I don't think Cowdenbeath have. Oh yeah, Welsh Premier now as well.
Really?
Teams like Pennybolt.
Really?
Got Barlowtown. Haverford County West.
Right. Back to the post-match show,
Yes.
because there are reporters out and about as well, so you may be accosted by a reporter for your opinion on the game.
Yeah, if you see someone coming towards you with a microphone, then that will be one of our team. Please talk to them. We want to hear your thoughts on the game, be it good, be it bad. We want to hear your honest thoughts on what you've just seen over the last, well, I was going to say 90 minutes, but it's probably more like 100 now.
Yeah, because we have to push the results back now. Do the results start later now? Is that
Yes.
Is that as a result of Wycombe Wanderers?
Indeed, yeah, because a lot of the games and Wycombe's don't finish in time.
So is it 5:10 the results?
Yes, that's correct.
It used to be 5:55
That's it.
on the dot. 5:10 now, because the games just go on a bit longer.
They do.
The first one was great. It was just like none of these are finished.
There was only the Scottish games which were done in time.
Really, they just wanted to finish up early and get done.
They do like, because I guess it's colder, isn't it? And I don't know.
How long have you been doing the results for, Colin?
15 years.
Really? Any highlights? Any mishaps?
No, I've been desperate for East Fife and Forfar to get the 5-4 scoreline. Mishaps, that's a good question.
Yeah, you had one last week, which was
thank
a
you.
couple of weeks ago, which I made. He never does make mistakes,
Really,
but I
just
just made it,
point
pointed it out. Yeah.
What did I do? I tripped up or something.
You tripped up or something. Yeah, it wasn't anything major.
Oh, thank you.
That's a shame.
It'll be on a blooper tape somewhere soon.
Don't worry, if Colin gets it wrong, we will point it out.
So you must be massively offended then that I have to go halfway around the world to get the results read out on this podcast, when all along the voice of the results.
I've said to you before, I'm more than happy for Yuri to. I feel if he'd like my job, he's welcome to do that. And perhaps I'll come on your show and do them in a more sort of traditional delivery.
I mean, do you know the Spanish for sausage roll?
I don't. I'd be surprised if there is a word, because you can't imagine Spaniards having sausage rolls, can you?
There was none in Italy.
I did Google this earlier on, and apparently sausage roll is widely available across the Commonwealth.
Oh, okay.
So you could be right there. Although in German, as we found out earlier, Würstchen im Schlafrock. But they do love a sausage in Germany, of course.
Do you want some more pastry news next week?
Well, it's all here on Ringing the Blues. So this week, Thursday, the Wycombe Wanderers show live on Wycombe Sound, 7 o'clock. We've got pre-match drills coming out on Thursday as well. We'll chat with the gaffer. We've got JJ on there too. We'll hear from a player. And also more about the Prostate March for Men on Sunday.
Hopefully a Knowing Me, Knowing Blues as well.
Oh, and a Knowing Me, Knowing Blues. Do we know
Not confirmed yet.
Not confirmed yet, but that will be on Wycombe Wanderers socials from tomorrow. So do get your questions in for the unconfirmed Wycombe Wanderers player that will be taking part on Knowing Me, Knowing Blues with Bex. And then on Saturday, we have live commentary from the Bill Turnbull Gantry. So if you're in the UK, you can listen to that on Wycombe Sound 106.6 FM in the Wycombe area. Or if you are a subscriber to Wanderers TV, you can hear it on there. And if you are overseas, then you can watch it And we'll be joined this week by Wycombe Wanderers legend Steve Brown, who's going to help us out on co-coms. Coming up on co-coms in a couple of weeks, we've got Duncan Alexander, aka Oily Sailor, to give us some very much stats-based co-coms, but he's always very good value as well. Among others, we've got Jack Grimmer. He's going to be on, I think, for the Carlisle game as well, and it sounds like Joe Jacobson's going to be available too for a few more games.
In a dressing gown.
In a dressing gown, of course. In fact, yeah, matching dressing gowns, me and Joe Jacobson on the Bill Turbo Gantry. Well, on that visual bombshell, we shall leave you and wish you the very best. And we'll be back next Tuesday ahead of the Crystal Palace game. Kick-off at 6 o'clock for Ringing the Blues. Kick-off at 7 o'clock in the Pizza Trophy for Wycombe Wanderers versus Crystal Palace under-21s. And we'll see you all on Saturday. That's it for this week. Come on, you Blues.